All right, so in 1-2 is some notes for 1-2. We're starting inequalities today. So the first thing we need to know is to understand what an inequality sign looks like and what all it can do for us. First off, let's see how much you guys remember from Algebra 1. If I had this sign here, what is that sign? That is greater than. Okay, that is greater. So you're going to want to write, if you need to write a little cheat sheet, greater than. Now, when we go to graph a greater than, okay, when I go to graph a greater than, it has an open or a closed circle. Anybody remember when you go graphing them? Okay, it would actually be an open circle. Closed means that it includes the point. So the only way to include the point would it have to be equal to, which will be a next sign we do. Okay, so for a greater than, I'm going to put a little cheat out to the side here. Let me move this over. It would be an open circle whenever I graph it. Okay, now if I had this guy, that one stands for greater than or equal to. Okay, so we have greater than or equal. And that would be a closed circle because it actually would include whatever point we are dealing with. Okay, so it would include that point and greater. Okay, now if I had this guy, that's less than. And of course, that would be what kind of circle? Open. And if I threw a line under it, that is less than or equal to. And that would be a closed circle. Let me zoom out there a little bit. Move it up, move up. Boom. Okay, sorry for the little cheat sheet there. Then I'm going to zoom back in. Cool beans, too easy so far? No questions yet? We're golden? Alright, stay golden. Okay, here we go. We ready? Let's do this. First one, number 1. Okay, just like yesterday, we are going to treat inequalities as if it is an equal sign, so like a bridge. Okay, those of you, again, if you want to do your plus minus thing that you learned in the past, that's fine. If you want to use my bridge method, go with it. It works for these guys as well. Okay, first thing I look for is I find my equal sign, in this case, my inequality sign, and I look to the left. Is there any x's on the left? Any variables on the left? Yes, and it's a what? You said? What kind of x is on the left side? 3x. So I put my 3x down. Is there any more on the left side? No. Is there any on the right side? Yes, what? 5x. So I move that 5x across, and it, just like in bridges of life, when we cross a bridge in math, we have to change signs. So 5x becomes negative 5x. And any other x's? No. Close the bridge. In this case, it is a what sign? What is that sign? Liar. Less than or equal to. We always read it from left to right unless there's a variable on the right side. Okay, since we have all the variables on the left side, we read it from the variable. And since our x's are over here, then we read it left to right. And this will be, the x's are touching the skinny side, which means less than. So it's less than or equal to. Okay, now next step, as I get all my regular numbers, I want them all on the right side of the bridge. Is there any already over there? On the right side. Yes, a negative 3. Any I need to move across. Negative 2. When it crosses the bridge, it becomes a positive 2.
It's still okay if I do the opposite.
It is absolutely okay if you do the opposite. You're just going to get, at the end, you'll be dealing with positive numbers where we're dealing with negatives, and that's okay. You won't do the bells and whistles that we're about to have. Okay, her question was, could she move that 3x across with the 5x and then move the negative 3 across over here with the negative 2? And that's absolutely fine too. In the end, it'll come out to the same answer. All right, 3x minus 5x is negative 2x is less than or equal to negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Last step, what do I do? Divide by negative 2 because I want to solve for x. Never, ever, ever do I say divide by negative 2x. We don't want to get the x canceled off, just the negative 2. Okay, so here we go. Divide by negative 2. Beep, beep, beep. Bells and whistles just went off. What did bells and whistles just go off for? What happened? What did I just divide by? You said divide by what? A negative 2. Anytime I divide by a negative and I'm dealing with inequalities, I have to do what to the inequality sign? Flip it. Okay, so these guys still cancel off, right? Okay, so x is now going to be greater than or equal to, negative over negative is a positive, so 1/2. You want to make it 0.5, that is fine.
What if you did the opposite way and a positive?
What do you mean?
Like I have a positive 1 and 2.
Yeah, so you already have it a positive 1/2.
So
when you divided by your positive 2, you divided a positive 1 by a positive 2, you're now at positive 1/2. You know, your sign's the same as mine?
No, at the beginning.
Correct. Yes, but your x is on the right side now. Your x should be on the right side, correct? On yours? Yeah, so that means that if you read it from left to right, right to left, because your x is on the other side. Now you're seeing it as x is greater than, just like we are. So you would read yours this direction. So these cancel off, right? So x is greater than or equal to 1/2. Same thing we have. So your x is, here's your x, right? So your x, yep, and then bring this sign down. Yep, 1/2. Boom. See, x is touching the fat side. Look here. X is touching the fat side for us too. Think of it like arms. Okay, so on ours, my left arm and left leg are touching the fat side of the sign. On yours, it would be your same thing. Left arm, left leg, you're still touching the fat side.
So just depends on how you read.
Yeah. So wherever your x is at, you read from that. Okay, tomorrow it'll make a little more sense because we'll be doing compound tomorrow where you have an x maybe in the middle and you're having to read both directions, and it'll make more sense. All right, so here we go. Now we have to put it on the number line. So that's part 1. Part 2 is put it on our number line. So we always just throw a 0 on here. Obviously, 1/2 would be on which side of the 0? 1/2 would be graphed on the positive side, the right side. So I go ahead and put 1/2 right here. If you had a 0.5, you just put 0.5. Now, is that an open or a closed circle? Closed. Why? Because it's equal to. And it says x is greater than 1/2, so I shade which way? I shade which direction? Because it's greater than to the right. To the right. These are all numbers greater than 1/2, right? We agree? Because out there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 99, a million, right? Okay. We're all good with that so far? Number 2. It's not going to get any harder, so if you can't try to sign up for this class to get harder than that, go get your schedule changed. This is too easy, right? Too easy. Here we go. All right, number 2. Here we go. On number 2, we look and we find our bridge, and our bridge is a what sign right now? Greater than. Is there any x's on the left side? Yes, what? Negative 2. Good job. Negative 2x. Any other x's on the left side? Nope. So any on the right side? Nope. So go ahead and close our bridge, our greater than. Any regular numbers already on the right? A 6. Put it down. Any regular numbers on the left I need to bring across? A 4. A 4 crosses that bridge and becomes a -4. Good job. Now I bring it down, negative 2x Greater than. 6 minus 4 is 2. What do I do now? Divide by what? Beep, beep, beep. Bells and whistles go off. You said divide by a negative. Divide by a negative. What do I do with the inequality? Flip it. Is no longer greater than. It is now less than. 2 over negative 2 reduces to what? What is 2 divided by negative 2? Negative 1. Box it. Circle it. Whatever it. Okay. Put it on the number line. 0 is here. So negative 1 would be on which side of 0? The left. So I throw it over here. Negative 1. Is that going to be an open or a closed circle? Open. Because it is not. It's not what? Not equal to. Okay. Right, Landry? All right. Which way do I shade? It says x is less than. So I shade which way? To the left. To the left. Questions? Yes, ma'am?
So when we're dividing, do we just cancel it out and flip in?
Yes, the only time, yeah, you cancel them out because anything over itself is what? Nope. 1. So it's not really canceling them off. It marks them off and reduces them to 1. Okay, so negative 2 over negative 2 is 1. And we don't put 1x, we just put x. Okay, so that's why when I say cancel it out and I put a line through it, I still bring my x down. It's still there. It's still 1x. We just don't put the 1 there. Okay, anything over itself is 1. We flip the inequality because we divided by a negative. That's the rule. And that's at the top of your paper. It even has it in bold written on there to remember to flip your inequality. Anytime that I divide by a negative, and only when we're dealing with inequalities, obviously that's the only time we have a sign, we have to flip the sign so it becomes the opposite. Because for people like up front, like she did, where she moved everything to keep it positive, now all of her stuff went to the other side of the inequality, and so she didn't have to flip it. So if we didn't flip ours, we would have opposite answers. Okay, so that's why it just flips it to keep your inequality straight. So for us that like to move everything to the left, inequality will then follow us. Okay, good question. All right, next one. Just like yesterday, number touching parentheses means what? Distribute. So we have 8 times 2x is 16x. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. Is, what's that sign? Greater than. 11x minus 17. Okay. All right. Any x's on my left side? Yes, what? 16x. Any more? There's 11x on the right side. It's got to come across. So 11x goes across and becomes a negative 11x. Any other x's? Nope. Close the bridge. Okay. Any regular numbers already on the right waiting on me? What? Negative 17. Any on the left I need to move over? Negative 8 goes across, becomes a positive 8. Okay. 16x minus 11x is? 5x is greater than, you guys said, right? Negative 17 plus 8 is? Negative 9er. Divide by 5, right? No bells and whistles. Why?
It's not a negative.
I'm not dividing by a negative, so no bells and whistles.
Your denominator has to be a negative.
Correct. Yes, you have to be dividing by negative, so the denominator would have to be a negative for you to flip it. Okay, x is greater than. What is negative 9 divided by 5? Will help. Negative 1.8. Boom, boom. I will take either answer. You could have left it negative 9 over 5 because that is reduced. Or if you wanted to go ahead and make it a decimal, that makes it easier sometimes to graph when you have a decimal. So now here we go. We put our 0. Negative 1.8 obviously would be on the left side. Is that going to be an open or a closed circle? Open. Which way would I shade? To the right because it is Greater than. These are numbers that are all greater than negative 1.8.
We're doing the 4 by ourselves.
Yep. Yep. Okay, everyone's trying number 4 by themselves so that they can check to make sure they got it. All right, number 4. Here we go. Number touching parentheses, so we are going to use the distributive property. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. What sign is that? Less than or equal to 7. Okay, only x's are on the left side, so I bring down my 5x. No other x's, so I close the bridge. What regular number was waiting for me on the right? 7. What am I moving across? Negative 10 goes across the bridge and becomes a positive 10. Okay. Next up, 5x is less than or equal to 7 plus 10 is 17. Last step, divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by what? By 5. X is less than or equal to, what'd you say? 3.4 is correct. Box it. Put it on the number line. There's 0. Throw 3.4 out here. Open or closed? It is going to be closed. Why is it closed? Because it is equal to. So put a closed circle. And we shade which way? To the left. Why? It is less than. Okay, good job. Any questions? You're going to do, after you close that packet on the back, flip it over. For those of you that turned in your work yesterday, should be A1-2 on the back. A1-2. You are doing numbers 1, 4, 6, 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 11. Okay, 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 11. Okay, when you're done, you're going to turn them in up here. If you're doing them from home, you're going to turn them in on your Google Classroom, and I'll get them graded and get them back to you. And you can stick around and ask questions at home if you want. If you know how to do it and you feel comfortable, you can take off and get it done on your own.